Hello everybody. Imagine that TCS is earning 100 rupees in 2023 and the current market condition is very bad. There are not many new projects happening in the market. Hence, they are not able to increase your salary. So you can't do much in this situation. However, there is another stakeholder in the entire conversation for TCS, that is the investor, shareholder committee. And these shareholders, though, they are not very happy and they want the TCS revenues to grow from 100 to 102, 103 rupees. And if the projects are not coming in, then what can TCS do? Then TCS has to buy growth, buy revenues. Well, hold on. Does it make sense to buy revenues or to buy growth? It does not make sense. So let me explain it to you how this works. This buying growth is called as acquisitions, or rather inorganic growth. And how does it work? So TCS, yes, it is earning 100 rupees only per year, but they have a lot of money in the bank account because after all the revenues, costs, they have some profits left. They gave it to shareholders and still they have some money with them, and that money is in the bank account. So they take some of that money and they buy a company which has 2 rupees in revenues, and then they say, hey, now our revenues is not 100 but rather 100 plus 202. Now, does this make sense to you? Do you believe what I'm saying is like crap, or do companies really do this? And why would shareholders agree to these kind of growth scenarios? And how does it matter for you as an employee? So let's discuss all these things in this video. Before that, a quick request, do click on that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because these type of business news are very critical to understand in simple terms, and hopefully it would reach to a lot more people. So let's start with, does this really happen? Yes. If you just look at the Accenture quarterly results that were announced 10 days back, and in that Accenture very clearly said that this year they are only going to grow by 1.5 to 2.5%. However, the contribution from the inorganic growth is 3%. Yes, this is directly coming from their investor relations, that is on Accenture.com website. I'm not making it up. And recently there was an article on Economic Times where almost all the IT services companies are trying to push for inorganic growth because they are not able to find any kind of growth organically within the company through selling more and more projects. So now let's understand, why would a shareholder who is also rational, why would they agree for this kind of growth? That's the second question we should be answering. So let's take an example again to understand this. TCS is recently in talks with Interpublic Group. It's the fourth largest advertising company by revenues in the world. And one of their subsidiaries, RGA, they are in talks to buy RGA. And why are they selling and why are these guys buying? RGA's revenues have declined by 20% in the last 1 year. And a lot of senior executives within that advertising company have also left. So that company is in sort of little bit of a trouble. And hence, probably their valuation also has gone down, the price at which you can buy that company. So TCS is now looking that as an opportunity and trying to buy that company. And why is TCS doing that? Number one, they are getting a new skill onto their own company. Imagine if TCS is trying to build a new skill, right? Trying to build a new vertical and go sell to that clients. It takes a long time. It takes time to train employees. It takes time to hire people with those unique skill sets if you don't already have that. And all these things also have an additional cost. You need to train people, you need to train freshers, and the training is actually costly as well. Now, you go and buy these type of companies, you automatically have their employees within your company books. So no need to train freshers or no need to train your existing employee base. Great way of moving forward for a company. And in this scenario for TCS, they are looking to go ahead and purchase this marketing tech company. MarTech, so to say, is also on the rise right now. And they don't have the skill set. So now when they are going and talking to their other clients, they can say that, hey, boss, I'm not selling just bananas, but I'm also selling apples nowadays. I'm not just selling IT services, but I'm also selling marketing tech services, right? So once you combine apples and bananas, you are now selling a much broader plate, a 360-degree sales engine, and you can be that one-stop solution for all your client needs. And that is an advantage. This is technically called as cross-selling. If you are learning some of these new words and new terminologies, please don't forget to press that like button. Now, it is not just cross-selling. RGA also has their own clientele. RGA has some of the best industry clients on their books. Google's, Coca-Cola's and Nestle's and a bunch of other companies. Now, TCS also has access to these companies. So you can see for TCS, it is a win-win situation. And for RGA as well, yes, they are now going into a much broader umbrella like TCS, and potentially with some money support from TCS, they can also get rid of their own problems. So for TCS, it's a win-win situation. And for RGA as well, it's a win-win situation. And that is how companies come together. Now, what happens from an employee standpoint? Let's look at that, because that's more important for you and me. The first situation, when any two companies are coming together, when there is an acquisition or a merger that is happening in the market, there are always certain roles that would become redundant. Simple example is HR or finance or any of these functional roles where both the companies have their own employee base. But now if you combine, you don't need 10 people sitting in RGA and 10 people sitting in TCS. You rather probably want only 15 people. So 5 people would be laid off. So this is a direct benefit once again for the company, because now A plus A, it's not 2A anymore for the cost. It is 1.5A. So you can see that employees are not getting that benefit. The second one is also with respect to the fresher hiring and training. Now it is becoming more and more clear that companies don't want to invest more on hiring and training freshers. Rather, they will go and purchase that growth, revenues or inorganic growth, and that is good for the shareholders. And also in the long run, they can do all these activities to show to the shareholders that, hey, in fact, what we are doing is good. We are cutting down expenses on training, we are cutting down expenses when we combine groups and laying off certain employees, so shareholders are happy. Now, if you ask me, what is it something which you can do? Number one, please understand from this entire conversation, marketing tech is something which is definitely on the rise. If you can understand what are these marketing tech tools, from a pure technology side, one of them is Adobe Experience Manager. The other one is Bloomreach. Then another one, Marketo. If you are working on any of these tools, understand that the market is actually hot with respect to these tools right now. If you are not working on these tools, see if you can learn and get started with these tools slowly. Number two, when you are applying for these companies, and if you are just in the early stages of your career, very likely that you would be recruited for your skill. If you do not have that skill, then very difficult for you to present your case and showcase not your credentials, that which college you are coming from or what background you have, but it is important for you to showcase your value that you can add right from day one. I hope this makes sense to you. Two things, marketing tech. I've given you 3 names, please do not forget them. And number 2 is think about adding value from day one. That comes if you are in early stages of your career. Pick up some hard skills, pick up some tools and learn them. Power BI or any of these marketing tech tools, Tableaus, all these things in the world would be a great starting point, and companies can leverage your expertise straight off the bat. Hope this video is helpful for you, and I hope that you learned a lot of new words and terminologies through this video. Do share it in your circle, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye bye.